So good evening, welcome along to Super League Raw Weekly. We hope you are well, our fine viewing public. As you can see, it's the full repertoire of journalists here this evening. Good evening to Mr. Scholes, Mr. Nixon and Mr. Sale.
Good evening.
Very well.
Very well, sir.
All good in the crib?
Whatever that means, yeah, fine.
Outstanding, marvellous.
All
Right,
good,
lots
all
to
good in
get
the hood.
through.
All good in the hood.
Lots to get through this evening. As always, let's get straight on with it. If you're not already, fantastic, great to have your company. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and of course, comment. Let everybody know that you're watching Super League Raw Weekly. Good evening to the early risers this evening. Craig Forth, Steve Cartledge, Ian Judson, Ian Rispin, Greg Roach, all members straight in. Paul Boardman is with us too. Great to have your company, chaps. Like I say, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get straight in at the deep end, shall we? Where are we going to start? Let's start with the awards season. Let's start there. First and foremost, congratulations to St Helens Women's Rugby, also St Helens Reserves. They are champions, gentlemen, of the regular season.
The women were awesome on Sunday. Can't remember when it was now. They're just a very, very good unit. Got some good players, some international class players. Jodie Cunningham is as she has been for a long, long time, a class player. Yes. Leads from the front. They brought in some new girls this season, including Georgia Sutherland from Warrington, who is going to be a future England star, I think. So they absolutely unfortunately they annihilated Warrington on at the weekend and deserve it, really. I know other teams can look to injuries with key players, York and Leeds, throughout the season, but that's the way it goes. And Saints have been a big word out for Wigan as well. Wigan have done really, really well this season, the Wigan women's team. Hats off to Dennis Betts, who's done a phenomenal job there. It's looking like they might be, with injuries to the other two teams, York and Leeds, and with respect to those, it's like Wigan could be the ones that might give Saints the most problems in the playoffs.
They brought Jenna Banks in as well, one of my friends. She's now the overseeing the I think all the women's things there at Wigan. So congratulations to her as well. I know the women's game's going from strength to strength, and it's great to see teams like Wigan, who were probably a bit behind in terms of the women's game, but they come into the fore now along with Leeds and York and the other teams as well. So great to see in the women's game.
Absolutely. Well done to them. As I say, well done also to St Helens Reserves, of course, for winning the Reserve League. Mark Sneed, Joel, has won the Salford Player of the Year, Players Player, Coaches Player, Fans Player, took the lot. Looks like he's going to win the Albert Goldthorpe as well. Pretty much uncatchable now on the Goldthorpe. He's, I think, 5 points clear with 2 games to go. Mark Sneed, deserving of the Albert Goldthorpe, Joel?
I think so. I think he's been pretty much untouchable in that squad. When you look at everything he's done.
Goldthorpe wise. Albert Goldthorpe.
Albert Goldthorpe, I think he's in for the shout. Yeah. Most likely he's going to get it.
He's won it.
Has he won it?
Yeah, he's won it.
Right. There you go.
Mikey Lewis did have to get 2-3 points and Sneed not scoring the last 2. Find that very, very unlikely. So for me, I think Sneed's won it.
And deservedly so. He's played really good. He's played really well all the season. He's had a few games where he's been off. And I don't think it's because he's not had the ability. It's just because teams have known to target him a little bit and they've kind of made him quiet in the games. But then Mark Sneed's very good and he knows how to get out of that. And we've seen that in the past few weeks, haven't we?
Absolutely. Somebody has already clicked the QR code. We've had members joining us these last 2 weeks. Are we going to get a member join us this evening?
We've already got one, Linda.
Is Linda already in? Is she already in? Linda, finally joined. There you go, Linda Blumsman. Blumsum, sorry. Good evening to you. Finally, remember, there you go, the first one of the evening. Who's going to be joining Linda? Who's going to have a chance of a grand final ticket? Of course, Super League Raw quiz coming up soon. That's going to be interesting, isn't it, as well? Right. So there you go, Linda, on the screen. Finally, a member. Great to have your company. Car sticker will be with you very shortly, as will your welcome email. I hope you're very, very well, Linda. Thank you very much indeed. Right, going to come to Mr. Sale for this one. And, game on a cliff edge. I don't really particularly want to start on a negative, but on a day where the NRL have boasted about their highest ever attendance figures in an NRL season, and they're going from strength to strength, arguably one of our most successful clubs, St. Helens, have announced losses of 1.3 million and change for the 2023 season. And Manners has come out and said it's going to get even more bleak in 24 because they're having to repay COVID loans. This at a time where Halifax are 80k in the red and are looking for help. Fair play to Wakefield, it has to be said. They donated their gate receipts to Whitehaven. Great shout that from them. You know, real class from Wakefield, looking after the rugby league family. But Steph, this isn't good reading for the viability of our game, is it?
No, I mean, I think the most shocking thing on this one was the turnover. What Saints, you know, they're pulling the best part of 10 million quid, which is, I didn't think it'd be anywhere near that. So it's a phenomenal amount of money that they're bringing in. But obviously, turnover's vanity, profit, sanity, isn't it? So I'd like to know what they're spending the money on, because given the fact that we're in a salary cap sport and you can only spend, you know, 2.2 million on the cap. I know you can have a bit more for your quotas that only count as 150k, but even so, you know, they're going through some money at Saints with something there. Very, very interesting to have a look at their EBITDA, you know, in terms of what's going on there. Yeah,
it's, like I say, it's a real concern. We were talking before we came on air, you know, at the moment we've got, you know, passionate club owners, the Morans, the McManuses, the Hetheringtons, the Derek Beaumonts of this world, and, you know, we could go on. The fear is when they go, are their families as passionate for the game as they are, and what happens then?
Yeah, it's a big question, you know.
Yeah.
I think McManus has said that it was the reduced revenue coming in from TV money, which will affect. But, you know, it's up to the clubs to stand up and say we need more, and I'm sure they did. But they've got to be more. They've got to be more vociferous in their argument that they just can't survive on the money that Sky is giving them now. You know, when you think in 1995, it was the best part of 90 million that they invested in the sport, and that has gone down considerably over the years to in a time when they were showing more games than they've ever shown before. They were paying us less money to show the product.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, Alex there, he's talking about the linking with the funeral company. You know, he might have been joking there, but, you know, they've
no, that's true. No, that is true.
Yeah.
No, that is true.
It's frightening. It's frightening to think that a club like Saints, with all the success they've had over in the Super League era, not just over the past 5-6 years, the Super League era, now find themselves in so much debt. Yeah, COVID might have played a part. We understand that. That was a bad time for a lot of sports, every sport, not just rugby league. So, you know, it is, Dave, you're right. It's worrying times.
Yeah.
And I think the chairman and the clubs have got to be more vocal and demand a better deal from Sky, from external sponsors. This is a sport that gave away free advertising to Stobart for pictures of rugby players on the side of lorries that I think 5 people saw. You know, stop. It will always be the minority sport if we keep behaving like a minority sport.
Well, Stobart spotters don't sit in front of a telly watching Super League on a Friday night.
Exactly. You know,
stand on motorway bridges with the binoculars looking for names of lorries. Anyway, every man's got his passion. Mine's rugby league. Is all I would say on that one. But yeah, look, we don't want to carry on this one. I think we'd all agree it is worrying when you see a club like St. Helens posting £1.3 million losses. It's not a good look for the game, especially when you see the strength of the NRL. Let's hope that the rumours around the NRL coming in, because for me, I think that would revolutionise the sport in this country. As Dawn Baker saying their little jibe at her St. Helens, opposition fans. By all accounts, they've jumped ship this year because they're not winning as much. Good evening to Dawn, one of our members, of course. Hall of Fame, Steph, been announced, of course, this week. Paul Sculthorpe and Mr. Jamie Peacock, surprised they're not already in it, especially Skullthorpe. The amount of time he's been retired, but very much deserved in there. Also, James Lomas and Alan Prescott will be inducted in October, and Jane Bank and Michelle Land will be inducted as the 4th and 5th women into the Hall of Fame as well. Congratulations to all of them on their achievement. We've got to go at a pace tonight because there's lots to do. But Steph, quick tribute from you with regards to Mr. Skullthorpe and Mr. Peacock.
Yeah, I mean, I think what they've done not only for sport in this country, but also representative. And I think just to be have the reputation down under that both those two players and the respect down under as well. I think that's probably what's got them in there. Fantastic service to our game, and I think the two ladies you mentioned as well there were pioneers for women's rugby. So great to see those being inducted as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Joel, I'll come back to you. Carlos Tumavari has been announced as leaving Hull FC at the end of the current season. Been a great servant for FC, hasn't he, Tumavari?
He has, and he's going to be a great addition to any club that he goes to. Do we know where he's going yet? We're
not announced. No, not announced. He's not retiring though.
No, but that's the thing. He's going to be a great asset to any club, and it just shows, in a club that's been struggling so much, players who play well can still shine.
Absolutely. Well, I think I'm right in saying that Carlos Tumavari was in our team of the week within the last 2 or 3 weeks, which again is, a great in the twilight of his career. He's still getting in our team of the week. Guys, a fine rugby league player when we see one. Where am I going to go next? Let's go to Greg. Where am I going to go here? Let's go to the Tries of the Week. Tries of the Week announced on our YouTube channel today. We picked the obvious one, Mr. Bevan French, getting the top position. The top 5, Greg, Mikey Lewis 5, Kai O'Donnell 4, Harry Newman got 3, the lovely chip over the top from Brodie Croft. The Arthur Morg try, I thought the way Farge worked in such a really small part of the pitch there to get the ball to Morg was quite simply superb. And Bevan French, of course, had to be the top one, Greg, didn't he?
Yeah. A class try, bounced lovely for him. That everybody says lucky bounce. Now he kicked it to get that bounce. I don't care what you say. That's what rugby league. That's what skillful rugby league players do. Surprised Matty Ashton's wasn't in there because that was a turn of pace. Well,
Joel's agreeing with you. Yeah, Joel's agreeing with you. I think the fact that the St. Helens team was asleep probably just put it down the pecking order. There was some real good long ones. Tuilola Hayes was a belter. Joel, I'd have to say that for Tuilola Hayes was a good long range try in there. But Kai O'Donnell, I just like the fact that when you see a second rower round a fullback, I mean that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I've got no arguments for the top 5, Dave. I was just surprised.
No, but I want about the long range ones. When you,
I'm sure Ashton was knocking on the door.
He was absolutely in there. So too was the Marshall. The second Marshall one when it was December to Mago, and that was a consideration as well. Yeah. But I'm happy with the 5-4-3-1. And then over to Mr. Sale, we put a poll out who was the player of the round. Needless to say, we've got a lot of Be the Roarers like a poll on the Super League Raw Fans Forum. Tom Amone got 45% of the vote. Junior December 39. It would have looked like Mr. Amone was everybody's favourite this week. He had a fine game, Steph, didn't he?
He did. He had a really good game, and he's hitting form again in the right time of the season, along with players like Kai O'Donnell, and hopefully get Edwin Ipapi back this week, and we'll be at full complement for the massive game, which I'm sure we'll talk about later on.
We most certainly will. And of course, for those of you who have yet to watch, we shared the link for the Adrian Lamb pre-match press conference for KR. Edwin Ipapi will be decided on captain's run. Bit of a concern there for the Leopards going into that one. Right. Good evening to Nicola Burtonwood. She's jumping on the bandwagon there for Kai O'Donnell. She likes a bit of Kai. He's been outstanding. She's even giving him kisses. She's a lovely girl, is Nicola Burtonwood. I'm sure he'll be delighted to get those ones on the cheek. No question about it whatsoever. It is that time of the month. Again, I think we've gone through everything that I needed to go through. There's far more people now watching. Don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe. Join Linda and Gary as new members of Super League Raw. We'll give you a shout out during the show. Join the community. And why should you do that? Because this is why you should do that. We're building a community. Joel Scholes can't go to Magic Weekend, but he's there in spirit. Look at that. The entire community of Super League Raw, making sure that Joel was well thought of. And then this really warmed me heart at the weekend. 3 members, didn't know each other. Dawn and Craig before Super League Raw came along. And what happens? Craig takes Dawn down to the Brit community on Friday night. One car. That's what Rugby League's all about. That's what Super League Raw is all about. You're not just doing a membership to support what we do here at Super League Raw. You're going to become a part of a community that really is bonding every single week on the WhatsApp and in Stadia. There's even, a guy who's not even a member was using our platform today to offer people lifts from York to the game on Friday. That's what Super League Raw is all about.
That's brilliant.
It's outstanding. So become a part of it, support us. We can't do it without your support. Like I say, we've got grand final tickets on the way in the next few weeks. You want to be a part of that as well. So there you go. There's me play. Just any excuse to get Joel's masks on the screen. Right.
Say hi to Enid as well. That's a new name for me, Enid.
Absolutely. Enid. Oh, yeah, Enid. Hello. Good evening to Enid Thompson. Nice to have your company. Keep getting involved in the chats. We will continue to give you your shout outs. Right, it's that time of the month where we're going to look back to August. Of course, this doesn't include the weekend's game. The weekend's game was in September. We put this graphic up on our Facebook page earlier in the week. These are the contenders for August's Coach of the Month. There's the results. That's where they started. That's where they ended. I'll just very quickly go around the screen on this one. I'll start with you, Greg. Coach of the Month for August. Who would get your vote and why?
Willie Peters, I think.
Yeah.
The other two have done really, really well. Matt Peake's been consistent all season, been consistent since he took over at Wigan. I think Adrian Lamb has finally got, and that's no disrespect to Steph and Leigh, he's finally got Leigh playing somewhere near where they were last season. But for me, Willie Peters, because everybody keeps expecting Hull KR to fall away and to stop contending at some point. And he's still doing it. They're still doing it, and they've got, okay, they lost out to Wigan on Friday, but I think Willie Peters has got to take that one for me.
Fair enough. Craig Forth in the chat. There it is. Fantastic community. Super League Raw. The best decision he's ever made. He's loving being a part of our community because we're positive. Right. We're glass half full people. We love this game of rugby league and we love the camaraderie between fans. Steph, your thoughts? Who would get your coach of the month?
Well, I think with all wins, you've got to give it to Willie Peters, but you've got to give a special mention to Adrian Lamb in terms of if you actually go on the last 10 games, Leigh are number one in the league, which is, when you think about where we were, 10 weeks ago, that's a phenomenal effort. And I know we've had players come back and everything like that, but if we hadn't had those injuries at the beginning of the season, I wonder where we'd be now. Is probably what I'd say. But,
good point.
But everyone goes through that, and you go through that at different stages of the season. But to be completely written off by 99% of the rugby league population to get to where he's got to is phenomenal.
Fair enough. Well, Steve Morley in the chat saying Lammy for him and his season's not done yet. I'm sure you'd agree with that, Steph. And also Alex Griffiths. Good evening to Alex. He's saying that, 32 points against for Hull KR when you consider the quality of the teams that they have played is quite impressive. Joel, who gets your vote?
It's a very tough one because, as Steph says, that everyone's written Lamb off a lot this season because Leigh have done it very tough with injuries and stuff. And even when everyone said that they're not going to win, they ended up coming out with a stellar performance. I think just a hair width in front of Lamb, just from the fact that he's done what Adrian Lamb did last year, and they've been it's a very close. If either of them two get it, they deserve it.
Fair enough. And Nicola Burtonwood in the chat. We'd love a bit of Nick. Obviously, she's biased. Nice that she knows that. It's got to be Adrian Lamb for Nicola Burtonwood. Nicola, that is why you're watching there, because, of course, you couldn't do what I do and be completely impartial. It's always Adrian Lamb for you. But I'd say that in jest. Well done, Nick. Fair play. Right, ladies and gentlemen, no real surprises here. It is Willie Peters. Willie Peters does get the coach of the month, finishing the month of August in position number one. I think the comment that was made over the conceded only 32 against the quality of the teams that he played is quite impressive. Phenomenal performance from Hull KR in the month of August. But Steph, I think you're spot on. I think if we were doing it over 10 rounds, absolutely Lamb walks it. Unfortunately, we just do it month by month. But yes, absolutely Lamb over the course. If we were doing a quarter of the month instead of a quarter of a season instead of a team of a month, then yeah, you know what? He'd probably be top of the shops.
If we're doing it over the full season to even throw out everything here, then which Willie Peters. So you're right. It's the team of the month, and I think the thing that why I did Willie Peters over Lamb is the quality of the opposition. There is, we've had some of our easier fixtures in those in that month, and that points against when you consider they've played Salford, Saints, Catalan, Warrington is phenomenal because all those are attacking sides. So 32 is phenomenal.
I'm very mindful, of course, of the podcast. There is a graphic up on the live show here. I mean, this is the score. And it's not just that. It's when you compare and contrast the score lines with other sides. So, for example, they beat Warrington 22-4. Look what Warrington did, I think, the week before to Wigan. Incredible. So that was a hell of a result. You look at the Castleford Tigers, blew them away 36-6. It's 20 points to 10 for Leigh against the same opposition. Catalan Dragons, 36 points to 4. Against Wigan, it was 26-18. So when you actually look at it that way, where you actually compare and contrast, Magic Weekend, Wigan, St. Helens, 20 points to 0. They go and thrash them 42 points to 6. So to the end of the day, there's no doubt about it. Willie Peters, absolutely deserving of Coach of the Month. Many congratulations to Willie Peters. I'm sure he's delighted to get our vote. He'll be sending us thank you cards.
He'll be delighted. He'll be delighted. He'll be on next week.
Absolutely right. That now, of course, brings us very nicely to the announcement that everybody waits for. Who is in the Super League Raw Team of the Month? Let's find out. So there you go, the Super League Raw Team of the Month for August. For the people that are listening to this on the podcast, I'll go through it in order. At fullback, Josh Rourke. He comes off the bench. He was on the bench last month. He's now in the first team. On the wings, Ryan Hall, Matty Ashton. In the centre positions, Ricky Latelli and Petter Hiku. The two halfbacks are going to be Lachlan Lamb. Again, he was on the bench last month. He's now in the starting lineup. Mikey Lewis retains his position month on month. Jai Whitbread also keeping his place month on month. Edwin Pape in there at hooker. Luke Thompson is the other prop forward. The two second rowers are Junior Nsemba and Kai O'Donnell with Elliot Minchella at loose forward. On the interchange bench, Danny Walker for his heroics off the bench. Leeds comes to mind. The game after as well, he was incredible. He's been really potent for Warrington coming off the bench. Jack Campagnolo, you won't see his name in other people's team of the months and this, that, the other, but what a performance he's put in over the course of August. Jack Campagnolo, since coming back from his injury, absolutely outstanding, fully deserving of a place in our team of the month on the bench. And of course, Reece Martin and Kalepi Tanginoa. That is the Super League Raw official team of the month. Greg, I will come to you first, sir. Over to you. Happy with that?
Yeah, personally, I'm surprised Reece Martin hasn't made it in there.
Yeah.
He's scored some tries and as usual has been spot on with his goal kicking this season.
Yeah.
But I bow to your research and your greater knowledge, sir. If you were to ask me who the second rowers of the month were, I think those three, O'Donnell and Nsemba, Martin, although I think Nsemba's played prop a couple of times. But yeah.
No, it's always been second row, G.
Has he really? He might have gone up to prop at certain times through the games then. Mikey Lewis, yeah. Good to see some London players in there. It really is. I mean, Josh Rourke has been outstanding this past month. Scored some decent tries. Was great at Magic Weekend. So, yeah, it's a pretty good-looking team, mate.
You put it out on the park. There's no question about that. Joel...
It pushed most teams.
It would. Joel, no Giants players, but you can count Ricky Latelli if you want. He's about to come to you.
Yeah. I think there'd be something wrong if you did put a Giants player in there, if we're being honest. It's a great lineup there. And this just shows how non-biased that you are. You've got two players in there who are in a team at the bottom of the table, have won almost nothing. And, you've been able to show off their skills and their talents and the hard work that they've played. But you look at that team there, I think that'd take on any NRL side and give them a good challenge.
Yeah, and everybody's going in there, in the chat, and it's all opinions. Trust me, I've taken, as you know, I leave nothing to chance with regards to this. I have to take issue though with my friend Ian Herman. SASA. He's been in virtually every team in the month. Unfortunately, though, Ian, he hasn't had as good an August as Luke Thompson and Jai Whitbread, mate. He just hasn't. Don't get me wrong, massive fan of his. I think he's probably been arguably the best prop in the division this year. But come on, mate. Take those black and white glasses off. It is what it is. Greg Roach, good shout in terms of Jake Wardle. Yes, Jake was in the shortlist. He was in the top 4, but didn't quite make it. Like I say, Latelli and especially Hiku. Hiku was in 4 of the 5 team of the weeks in the month of August. That tells you how good Peter Hiku, should I say, has played during the course of the month. Steph, your view on the team of the month?
Yeah, I think this is the best one of the season, to be honest with you. I think the quality in there, you'd be very happy if your team had those players playing for you in those positions. Great to see, as Joel said, Josh Rourke and Campagnolo making an appearance as well this month. I think they're absolutely right, Reggie, in terms of Reece Martin. Very unlucky, but I think if you look at how good Kai O'Donnell and Junior and Sember have been, I think keeping Reece Martin out shows how good those two have been.
That's a good point. Yeah, good point.
And with SASA, God, we couldn't have had him in many more teams of the months, could we, this year? But he has Jai Whitbread and Luke Thompson have both been outstanding in August. Yeah. So I think you've got it absolutely right there. And what I wouldn't give to see Mikey Lewis and Lachlan Lamb on the pitch together. I think that's a phenomenal halfback partnership. You'd pay good money to watch that, wouldn't you?
You would. It would be box office. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. Like I say, it's all about. We're always going to get, and this is what I mean. It's when you do what we do. Oh, hey, we've got a Catalan's fan in there, have we? There you go. Yeah, there you go. A Catalan fan, good to see him in the chat, Fred.
I think that translates as no Catalan Dragon players.
Oh, is that what it says? Oh, well,
yes.
That's what it's. Okay, Ian Judson is still giving it large in terms of SASA. Good evening, Ian. Thanks for coming. Anyway, we move on. At a pace. As you know, ladies and gentlemen, here at Super League Raw, one of those starting 13 will be Player of the Month for the month of August. Don't get in the chat just yet, later in the show, but just be mindful of who's in that top 13. Have a little think about that. Of those 13 players, cast your mind back to the 5 games that took place in August. Which of those players would you have as your Player of the Month for August? It's a big question, a big question indeed. Get yourselves in the chat on that, but that a little bit later in the show. Don't do it now because I'll have to scroll back, so we'll do that a bit later, but just have a think for now. Which one of those players would you give that to? Right, let's now get into the top performers from round number 25. Here they come.
Here are your top performers from round number 25 of the Betfred Super League. The top try scorer was Alfie Hedgill of the Leeds Rhinos with a magnificent 4. The most try assists came from his fullback, Lockie Miller, also with 4. The top meter maker was my friend and yours, Mr. Tex Hoy of the Castleford Tigers with 237 metres. The top tackle buster was James Bentley of the Leeds Rhinos with 9. Matty Ashton got 8 against the Saints. The most clean breaks came from that man, Alfie Hedgill, once more with 4. Jake Wardle got 3. Whilst the most offloads came from SM Masters of the Huddersfield Giants with 5. Mike McMeekin got 4. The top hard meter maker, and what a week he's had, it's James Bentley of the Leeds Rhinos with 143, but he didn't play prop. And the top tackler was Jake Burns of St Helens with 51. The top goal kicker in a scoring fest against Hull FC was Reece Martin with 13 conversions. These were your top performers from round number 25.
So the top performers from round number 25. These, of course, were the results. The Wigan Warriors 24, Robins 20, Tigers 12, Leopards 34, Rhinos 68, Hull FC 6, Wolves, the Warren Wolves 16, St Helens 2, Red Devils 27, Dragons 12, the Giants 22, the London Broncos 16. Right, okay, let's just quickly, very, very quickly, have a little chat about these games. First and foremost, Huddersfield, Joel, make it 17 wins in a row against London, but like they've done many, many times before, they made you sweat.
Yeah, and there was no doubt that they was going to do. I'd said that it was going to be a very close game. London have just, their progression over this year has been the best progression I've seen probably in any club that's touched Super League in one season. And they can lose, but the way that they're losing in a very good fashion. They're playing really good rugby, and like at the start of the season, if we're being honest with ourselves, no one was probably that bothered about watching their games. Now you're looking for when they're on. You want to watch them because they're just really good team to watch. And, it would have been kind of good for the league for them to beat the Giants, to come above bottom and kind of, say, look what you could have won kind of thing. But it didn't happen. But that's what would have been good.
What happened? I mean, you were in the stadium. I asked this on in the sheds. What happened at the end? I mean, obviously we're watching it on the TV, but I can't believe that London didn't form a scrum to stop the clock. Did they not form the scrum at the end?
If you
Fair enough. If anybody was in the ground, let us know, because I just found that really bizarre. It did look very odd to me. It was about a minute still on the clock when the scrum was given, and then nothing happens, and he blows the hooter, and that's it. And all London needed was a converted try, and it was going to golden point. So very, very odd. I have to agree with Joel Dalgreen. Fred, yes, we do need a Catalan Dragons member. He's absolutely right. Fred, it could be you. Get yourself in there, sir. Make it happen. It would absolutely be wonderful. Right, okie dokie. Let's move on. Leeds against Hull FC. I won't come to Step. I'll come to you, Greg, on this. Derek Beaumont has called this an embarrassment to the league. They put the cue in the rack. Your thoughts on this? I mean, wow, is all I would say.
An embarrassment? I'm not sure. We always get games like this. We went to Wigan and scored 40 past Wigan. An embarrassment to the game? I think it was expected, if Ian will forgive me for saying that. Hull haven't been at the best. Leeds and I think a couple of our Leeds friends, I don't know if they'll agree with that, but I think that the form of Bentley has coincided with Leeds performing a hell of a lot better, and the maturity of James Bentley, and the fact that he's no longer, or not as much, trying to wind people up and trying to get in a fight and getting simbin and sent off. And I think his form has coincided with an upturn in Leeds' fortunes. Was it an embarrassment? Only if you're a Hull fan, because, as I say, every team on the day is capable of putting 50 or 60 past another team, no matter who they are. We went to Wigan a couple of weeks ago, as I say, and we put quite a few points past them. So I like Derek. I've got a lot of time for him. I've got a lot of time for the Leigh fans, as you know. Only an embarrassment, really, if you're a Hull fan.
Fair enough. I thought Leeds, actually, as bad as Hull were, Leeds scored some wonderful tries. Got
They were on the they hit the straps.
Yeah,
Leeds. It was
really interesting.
To be honest,
game.
It was a performance they've been threatening for a few weeks now.
Well, they've had a couple. I mean, obviously, we'll be talking about the Wigan Leeds game a bit later, but let's not forget what Leeds did to Wigan at Edinburgh. Suddenly that's an interesting game for Wigan. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Ian Judson saying that Leigh Sow's being offered to clubs. He can be offered all he wants. I don't think there'll be many takers, basically, especially with his disciplinary record this year. And Jackson Hastings is the last player you want, because let's be fair, brilliant at Salford, went to Wigan, it didn't turn out. There's a lot of baggage that goes with Jackson Hastings, hasn't settled in the NRL. I'm sorry again, Ian. I think that would be a bad move, mate. I really, really do. But anyway, we move on at a pace. Right, we'll go to Castleford against Leigh. Needed to get the job done, Steph. Very, very briefly. Delighted with your performance. You move on to this week in KR, yeah?
Absolutely, yeah. Potential banana skin for Leigh this one. We could very easily have turned up there and been beaten. We've all seen Cass can do it this season, as inconsistent as they've been. But I think we just dominated them in the middle, which is exactly the right thing to do on that pitch. And we've got the pack to back it up. And I think there were some excellent performances, especially given we didn't have Edwin Ipape playing in this one as well. So I think it's, from a Leigh perspective, job done. We move on to the big game this week against KR.
Well, we called it. That was the way we felt they would play, Leigh, down the middle, and they executed it brilliantly. Back to Greg, because it's Warrington, then I'll finish with Joel. Wire 3 from 3 now against Saints in 2024. It looks to me all day long it's Warrington against Saints in the first playoff round. That's the way I'm seeing it. I'd be very surprised if it's not. I'm going to call that now. I think it will be Saints at the HJ. And Greg, what are the chances? 3 from 3, and then Saints come to the Halliwell, first round of the playoffs, and turn them over.
Well, if we beat them, they'll appeal and they'll get it overturned. Meow. You can see it, can't you? You can just see it.
You can.
Yeah, a workman-like performance against the Saints team that apparently had some injuries. I'm led to believe. Yeah, it was a workman-like performance. They did the job in the first half. Saints were their own worst enemy. Alex Walmsley clearly isn't fit and should be nowhere near that team at this moment in time.
And Wellsby. Wellsby wasn't fit.
Yeah,
wasn't fit.
I think, well, the highlight of Wellsby's day was tackling Ashton into touch, and then he celebrated that much. He had to go off the whiplash. But Saints,
it was odd. I mean, I have to say, it was odd. It was very, very odd.
The atmosphere in the first half was electric. I've not heard a roar like that when Ashton went over at the Halliwell Jones for quite a while. And the second half everybody, the crowd, the players went off the boil. A couple of yellow cards that were not yellow cards.
Well, let's go there because it's in the chat, because Robert Higson saying, Sam mentioned Drinkwater, didn't mention Drinkwater staying down. No, he didn't. I was very scathing on in the sheds, albeit I think there was a lot of Saints fans typing and then realised I was taking the mickey. Sorry about that, Saints fans. I couldn't resist. Sorry that I got your pinkies working a little bit prematurely there. But yeah, I mean, all I would say, Greg, surely as a Warrington fan, you're embarrassed by that with Drinkwater. Shocking.
At the time, no, because I hadn't seen what happened, and when he was down, and then I saw the replay. We're banging on as Warrington fans about play acting. Some Warrington fans are saying on social media he's done it to highlight the issue that Sam Burgess is saying.
What's a load of nonsense? What's a load of nonsense?
No, I'm not saying that. That's what's going on social media. It's got whoever it is. It has got to stop. No matter which team, which player it is, it has to stop. And the thing that they should show on when the game's going on is Wolfie was in front of us, and when the players were play acting, Wolfie was rolling around like a footballer holding his shin, taking the mickey out of him, and that's what they needed to show. Not the player down getting his head checked. Wolfie rolling around on the floor like a footballer, holding his shin and then holding his head and then rolling around, because that was every rugby league's fans' opinion in a nutshell.
All I would say,
brilliant. It's got to stop.
All I would say here is I would be amazed if Sam Burgess has not pulled him to one side and given him down the river, for the pure reason he's made him look daft. He's made Sam Burgess look stupid. I mean, don't get me wrong. If it was a headshot where we're all going, well, by the letter of the law and all that, but it was just like, no wonder Leeds was filthy. I mean,
no, he was filthy. He was filthy. I mean, the thing that annoys me more though is there have been since Vaughan got a red card and a three game ban, there have been 3 exact tackles that have gone for yellow cards and less bans. And Warrington had their appeal turned down, and this is what frightens me more than players play. Well, no, I don't like players play acting. Let's get it right. But what I also dislike is the fact that similar incidents are getting lesser cards and lesser bans. It's a red card and a 3-match ban, or it's nothing at all, as far as I'm concerned. And that's the thing that sticks in my throat. Joe's saying that maybe. maybe drink water with saying if you can't beat them, join them. You don't know, do you?
We don't want the game to descend into that. That's the danger we're in.
This is what I'm saying. And it goes back to getting rid of the disciplinary panel, getting rid of the match review panel, and whoever deals with appeals. If you get a yellow card, you get a point. You get 5 points, you get a 1 match ban. You get a red card, you get a ban. You get a second red card, you get a 2 game ban. Like they do in football, like they do in other sports. It gets rid of all the absolute rubbish that's going on at the minute about similar tackles being given dissimilar punishments.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get rid of the video ref interfering. You are there, as I said last week, and I got very angry about this on Final Whistle the other week. The video ref is there for me to adjudicate whether a try has been scored or not. Not to then tell the referee that he has to send somebody off or somebody not. Because that video ref is not standing 5 yards from the tackle that's happened. They are watching it in slow motion 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 times, looking for an angle where they can justify a controversial decision. Stop it now. That's why people are walking away from the game, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
In the off-season, get rid of the disciplinary panel, get rid of whoever deals with appeals, get rid of video refs having the chance to interfere in what's going on in the game. Either that or put 2 referees on the pitch.
No, well, they tried that in Australia. It didn't work. Yeah. Nicola Burtonwood talking there about consistency. It's ruining the game of rugby league in this country. Couldn't agree with you more. It needs to be sorted. That said, like I say, interesting game. Warrington now 3 from 3 against a Saints team that looked devoid of confidence. Massive game for them this weekend. And, of course, Leigh, that could be a mouth-watering game. The final game of the regular season at the Leigh Sports Village. That'll be one not to be missed. We'll be talking about that next week. Right, over to Mr. Mr. Scholes, isn't it? To finish it off. Salford, Catalan, Joel. Catalan started well. Salford, for me, with this win, pretty much guaranteeing themselves a playoff place. Do you think, especially with the fact they've got Castleford this week?
Yeah, absolutely.
Should be good enough.
I was hoping this week that Catalan were going to show a bit more resolve and kind of put the foot down on, being there or thereabouts. But Salford once again do what Salford do best, and they kind of turn up when you think they might not do, and that was great for them. So yeah, I think they've pretty much got a guaranteed spot now. It just depends on how easy or hard their opening playoff fixture is. I presume it's going to be away, but
I think it'll be against Leigh. I think that's going to be against Leigh. Possibly at the toss a coin. If Leigh beat Hull KR this week, it could be Leigh. It could be at Leigh Sports Village. But I think that it's looking that way. But hey, we've had twists and turns all year. Let's wait until this time next week before we really start calling out what's going to happen this season. It could go either way. But hey, if you want to know what the fans forum, Craig Forth, Mark Hill, superb on the Final Whistle this week with Steph, make sure you download that on your way to work. The Final Whistle podcast, round 25. They go into depth on those games. They don't do the highlights like we've done. They get down and dirty, and they had a good bit of a giggle, good points made. Make sure you download the Final Whistle podcast. If you've just joined us, where have you been? Now is the time to like, comment, share, subscribe, do all the good stuff. Let everybody know that you found Super League Raw. Perhaps consider becoming a member. That's right. The membership is well worth joining. Get yourself up on that QR code at the top of the screen. Make sure you have a look at all of that kind of good stuff that's coming up. More announcements in the pipeline. Keep it Super League Raw. Right. Wow. We're going on one. Right. It's that time of the week. It's that time of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Super League Raw Team of the Week. Here it comes. The Super League Raw Team of the Week is proudly sponsored by the Good Estate Agent. Join the rugby league community in trusting Stefan and his team when you are buying, letting, or selling property.
It's the Super League Raw Team of the Week for round number 25 with the Good Estate Agent for 2024. Here we go again. At fullback is my boy Tui, and just like a lollipop, he made the Cowbell Army's hearts go giddy up. You set the Giants on fire, and they need you. So, game breaker at 2 is the 20-year-old Alfie Hedgill, who scored 4 versus the embarrassing black and white. Alfie's performance was simply technicolor. It was bright, sharp, and in perfect contrast to the shocking efforts of the opposition. At 3 is Ricky Latelli of the Leigh Leopards with another solid performance for the soon-to-be returning prodigal giant. With the right haircut, he could be Mr. T himself, and doesn't he make sure Lamb's plan comes together each and every week? At 4 is the exceptional Jake Warren of the Wigan Warriors, the David Hasselhoff of Super League, as doesn't he run well in slow motion? He's always ready whenever his teammates need him, but unfortunately not forever and always. At 5 is the wire flyer Matty Ashton, as St. Helens played the perfect game of musical statues. Ashton did what he does best. No pass the parcel here, folks. No, he took off with his ball to the try line. Swoosh, what a try. At 6 is Bevan French, and as the great poet's Bucks Fizz once said, run for the try, just the one. You're an outlaw once again. You are Super League Superman. You'll be with us while you can, as you play rugby in the style of make-believe. Oh yes! At 7 is Brodie Croft, who turned on the Style Council at Helens. Leeds have been knocked on their backs many times this season, and perhaps it will still be a flop, but Brodie is going to try and shoot them to the top. Shoot! At 8 is the 2 try-scoring fantastic Tom Amone. And all I want to say is thank you very much for being entertaining. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very, very much. Thank you very much for being so bruising. Thank you very, very, very much, Tom. At 9 is Joe Mellor of the Salford Red Devils, who needs hackers when you have a safe bet like Joe, like a mint ball. He is long-lasting, refreshing, satisfying, and he gets the job done. Minty! At 10 is once more Luke Thompson of the Wigan Warriors. I wonder if the opposition turned their underpants inside out for extra freshness at half-time, because playing against this Colossus, there's no doubt about it. Fear is Brown. At 11 is Junior Nsemba of the Wigan Warriors, the young player of the year elect. Was like a cat entering an aviary. The Robins were terrified on their perches, and they were all of a flutter in the presence of this great man. At 12 is James Bentley of the Leeds Rhinos, who once again caught the eye versus FC, once considered a blend or a 30-year-old fiend of brandy with an overdose of Bomboir. Suddenly he's become a double cask single malt with notes of peaches and apples on the palate. And finally at 13 and in defeat is Morgan Knowles, and Morgan knows that those around him are not currently matching his high standards this season. Morgan is having a belter of a campaign, and he deserves our respect for this performance at the HJ. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your team of the week for round number 25.
So there you go. The team of the week for round number 25 is in the record books. And as always, we'll go to Mr. Nixon first. Greg, you like a bit of team of the week? Over to you, sir.
I do. I'm a bit. Am I still live? I had a blip there.
You are.
I am. Yeah. I did chuckle, and although I wish you'd stop singing Bucks Fizz, mate. Yeah, I can't argue. And Semba's awesome. Matty Ashton is a speed king, and Bevan French, I would argue, probably one of his best performances of the season. A season that's kind of been interrupted by injury, but he was outstanding on Friday night. Luke Thompson as well. You know, I think they laid a platform in the pack for that win. Good to see Mellor there as well. You know, Mellor's been steady all season and doesn't get a good shouting because there's a lot of good hookers in Super League. But Mellor's been steady all season. So yeah, I'm happy with that.
Fair enough.
A good team of the week, sir.
Absolutely. David Pye's fishing in the chat, going on about not being many Saints players in team of the weeks this year. Go and have a look through the highlights reel, David. I am not biting, sir. Over to Steph. Steph, your thoughts, sir?
Yeah, I'm with Reggie. Mellor, I was gutted when Leigh let Mellor go, to be honest with you. I thought he was outstanding for us last season, and great to see him still performing at Salford there. I think Brodie Croft probably had his game of the season against Hull. He was unplayable in that game, and of course Edgell getting the 4 tries as well was phenomenal effort by him. And Ricky Latelli made another great performance. I'm going to be sad to see him go as well at the end of the season, but let's see who we bring in to replace him.
Well, it must be good because I think everybody's surprised that Ricky Latelli's leaving Leigh based on his performances this season. Joel, Tui at full-back, our boy Lollipop, he's a good lad, isn't he? He played well.
That was very funny. That was good. Yeah, he's been a great player too. You know, you can put him in any position you want, and he'll do a job for you. He's always ready to put his hand up. He's a team first player. That's nice. But I think it's good to see the 4 players at Wigan on there. I think Wigan have got this beautiful mix of blend of aggression, speed, and strength, and you've got that in abundance with them 4. So it was good. And then Ricky Latelli, nice to see a Giants player again.
Yeah, Giants player in there. I'm going to get in the chat in a minute and just answer a couple of them questions. But just because we can, guys, is it possible for a rugby league player to get man of the match after playing 14 minutes?
No.
Any?
No.
I mean, I've not even got him in my top 3. I said on In the Sheds. You look at that game. The players in that game that really produced solid performances right from the get-go. Junior Nsemba, unplayable.
Yeah.
I think Dawn's in love with Patrick Mago because I'm sorry, Dawn. Nah, mate, never.
Dawn.
It was good Dawn for 14 minutes, but it makes a mockery of an 80-minute game of brutality when a player can come on, do a couple of tackle busts and get man of the match. Nsemba ripped it up all the way through the game. Thompson, both sides of the ball, absolutely incredible. And Wardle, his runs throughout the game. I mean, Wardle was on. I mean, he was absolutely on. I just found it bonkers. Yeah,
I don't know what possessed them. I really don't know what possessed them to give Mago man of the match after 14 minutes on the pitch.
Because the commentators were waxing lyrical about him when he came on.
Well, even so, we've questioned Sky's man of the matches over the years we've been doing this, Dave.
Yeah.
But that, for me, was nonsensical.
Yeah.
Give it the water carrier, because he was on the pitch more than Patrick Mago was. The kid who carries the tee on, give it him, because he was on the pitch more than Patrick Mago was.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah,
I don't know what Nsemba had to do to get man of the match in that game. He was absolutely awesome.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Mago came on, and do you know what? He threw himself about for 14 minutes. But I mean, people are saying, Ian's saying, wasn't he not the most influential player? French was more influential. Scoring across the field to set up Nsemba. And then, of course, his genius try. And Nsemba was more influential. The amount of tackle bust Junior Nsemba did on the night was just absolute. I mean, he was destroying that left edge of KR all night. He was absolutely incredible. Thompson did virtually a full game. Thompson did 45 tackles in that game, 16 carries for 122 meters. I mean, if you compare and contrast that to Paddy Mago, I'm sorry, there's no comparison. Mago made 2 tackles, made 48 meters. I'm sorry. I mean, was he influential for 14 minutes? Yeah, he was. And well done for that 14 minutes. But you know what? No, you can't give any player man of the match. This isn't football. A player comes on 85 minutes, scores the winning goal, and he's the player of the game. This is because you can do that in football because it's goals. Rugby league's more than that. It's brutal.
It's man of the match, not man of the moment.
Correct.
That's like saying Liz Truss was the best Prime Minister of the 21st century.
Well, as Steve Morley says there in the chat, Mago came on against the tied team. That's a good point. Well made. That's a good point. I
just don't understand what the thought process is with Sky is.
Well, it's like Ben Curry. Ben Curry, 300 games to give him man of the match. Oh, come on. Come on. Yeah. Honestly, it's lazy punditry. And all I would say, like I always say to my wife, it doesn't matter. If I've been stood there over the stove putting all the ingredients in, getting it right, it doesn't matter who puts the final bit of salt and pepper in. It's the person who put the ingredients in. That's where it counts. Oh, yes, absolutely. Mago might have been good salt and pepper, but that was about it. Anyway, there you jolly well go.
Never win MasterChef, then, Dave.
I would never win MasterChef.
That was about cooking, to be honest with you.
No, you know me. I'll always go off on a tangent. It's always there. Right, we're now come to that part of the show, which will turn into the prediction show. We're going great guns. Don't forget, we will be announcing the player of August tonight as well. But before we do that, let's get a quick word from our sponsor, and then we'll build up to what should be another brilliant round number 26 of the Betfred Super League.
Love that crunch.
Let me add a little bit of spice.
So there you go, Rugby League 3/4 on Facebook. If you like a bet and you want to get into a community where you can have a little chat and a laugh about the latest hackers or exactly what happens in our WhatsApp group, actually, then by all means go over there and get a second opinion. But Steph and the gang do a fine job of that as well in our WhatsApp group. Our members absolutely love that. Right, this is the league, and what a league table we've got after 25 rounds. And ladies and gentlemen, we have an announcement to make. Adam is a new Super League Raw member. Good on you, Adam, lad. Welcome to the party. And yes, he is a Team Talk member, so you might be hearing from Adam on the Final Whistle podcast this coming Monday morning. Great to have you as part of the family, Adam. Welcome aboard. Your invite to the WhatsApp group will be coming your way right after the show. Right, Wigan, back top, as Greg always says. They know how to get the job done. They're top going into the final 2 games of the season. The Robins are in hot pursuit and have a better for and against. The Wolves will not have given up just yet on second place, albeit the League Leaders Shield now has absolutely gone for the wire. Then it's the Red Devils now in 4th, a point clear of the Leigh Leopards. A win for Salford guarantees them playoff rugby league this weekend. Then it's the Saints with the Rhinos breathing down their neck. I think it's a step too far now for the Dragons. We'll get into that in a few moments' time. And of course, down at the bottom, who is going to finish bottom? Is it going to be Hull FC? Is it going to be the London Broncos? We will have to see. What a set of fixtures, ladies and gentlemen, we have got this week for your viewing pleasure. It's going to be the Wigan Warriors taking on the Rhinos. Then it's the Saints going up against the Tigers. The Leopards go up against the Robins. Hull FC play the Red Devils. The Giants take on the Mighty Wire. And we will be there with our good friend Mr. Scholes for that one. And the Dragons go up against the London Broncos in Perpignan. Before we get into the predictions, it's only right that we look at the prediction league. And oh yes, last week we were getting a little bit comfortable. We were laughing at the big fella. And look at what the Schollsmeister General has done. Oh, he's in second. He's had an absolute belter. Has missed the Scholes. Look at that. Into second spot. And there you go. Suddenly Joel's got the bragging rights over Greg and over Steph with 2 rounds to go. A sensational 24 points last week, Mr. Scholes. 22 for the fans forum. I think, Greg, you got 17 off the top of my head. I think, Steph, you might have got 16. I was in and around that as well. But Joel was absolutely head and shoulders the man of the moment. Mr. Scholes, after all the abuse and all the leg pulling that you took last week, sir, all I will say is many, many, many congratulations. A fine, fine display, sir, last week.
Never in doubt. I told you I was coming back.
He doesn't even say anything. You know, he's cool. He's cool. He's calm. You know what I mean? You have the slogan. Brett the Hitman Hart, the best there was, the best there is, the best there ever will be at predictions. Mr. Joel Scholes. Phenomenal, sir. Phenomenal. Right.
Can I just apologise to Dawn Baker?
For?
I've upset her that I've compared Mago to Liz Truss.
It could have been worse. You could have compared him to Kit Starmer.
Well, we don't get political. We don't get political on this show. Come on.
I do apologise, Dawn, because Liz Truss caused far more damage than Mago did.
Moving on. Absolutely. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let's stay away from politics. We don't do politics here unless it's to do with the Rugby Football League. Anyway, let's get now into the weekend. It's going to be a fascinating week of rugby league football. I personally think we could be in for a belter. Yeah, just to confirm, Joel did get 24. Greg got 16. Gary Schofield 16. Steph 17. I got 19. The fans forum got 22. Right, we're going to start at the Brick Community Stadium, ladies and gentlemen. That's where we're going to start for the discussion. And like I say, if you look at the league table, it is fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. Wigan go up against Leeds. Both of these, good form. They've won 4 of the last 5 games, have both of these two sides. When they played in round 21 at Headingley, everybody took up and stood up in absolute astonishment. Let's not forget what Leeds Rhinos did to the Wigan Warriors, 30 points to 4. That came from nowhere, absolutely nowhere. First, of course, going up against 7th. The averages this year in attack, that's an interesting one. Wigan have averaged 24 points a game. The Leeds Rhinos, 20. It's not that far out. The defence, 13 for Wigan, 16 conceded for the Rhinos. Wigan 1-4 on. Rhinos 3-1, which is interesting. This time last year, Brick Community Stadium, round 12, and the Leeds Rhinos beat Wigan again, 19 points to 13. So that is something that maybe the boys want to just bear in mind as we talk over this fixture. I think this is going to be a belter. Wigan cannot take anything for granted. Greg, will start with you. A lot of the time we talk about, and Steph will have a right smile. When Wigan played Leigh, the amount that took out the tank, of course, and then Wigan fans were using that as an excuse why they lost the next game. Of course, Leigh went on to the next game and won theirs. But that was a brutal game against Hull KR. There's no question about that. Leeds had a exercise against Hull FC last week. So in terms of who should have more in the tank, probably favours Leeds a little bit. Leeds on a good recent history against the Wigan Warriors. But of course, it looks like French is back into his groove. I'm looking forward to this. Should be a belting game.
Oh, mate, it should be an absolute cracker. And, 6 or 7 weeks ago, there's only one winner in this game.
Yeah.
You are right in that Leeds have cruised to victory against Hull. Wigan have had a real good bruise against. Wigan have had a real good bruise against Hull KR. But like I say, this is the time of the year when Wigan just do what they need to do. And I think, if everything's equal, no cards are shown, and it's an even playing field. I think Wigan 9-17.
You're going Wigan 9-17 on an even keel. Ian Judson's welcoming one of his friends here. Kevin Greenley, who supports the Robins, says he should become a member because by all accounts he's got great banter. We love a little bit of banter. And there he is. There's the new member that we were talking about a few moments ago, Adam Bold. He's the new member and he's a Saints fan. Fantastic. We need a Saints fan for the final whistle. That's it. I think it's just Catalan Dragons in London. I mean, that's all we need now. I think we've got everyone.
Castleford.
Cass as well. We need Cass.
Yeah, we need Cass. We need Cass as well. So we're rapidly getting there. But great to have you with us, Adam. We'll get you involved in the Final Whistle podcast over the course, next week. So we look forward to inviting you to that. Steph, Croft showed his class though against. I know it's only against Hull FC. Both of Croft's tries were brilliant. Really, really good. The kick for Newman again. Very few players can execute that type of kick. I mean, it wasn't like the Hanley one earlier in the season where he was actually, kicking it from his 20 to his 30. I mean, it was pinpoint, wasn't it? I think the ball only went about 10 metres in terms of depth. So if Brodie Croft is on, that's something for Wigan to be concerned about, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean, like I said earlier on, when we did the Team of the Week, I think it was Brodie Croft's best performance of the season. We talked about teams hitting the stride at the right type of the season. This is where Brodie needs to come into his own. If Leeds are going to make the top 6, he's going to play a massive part in that. It's a very intriguing. I'm a bit gutted I won't be able to watch this one live because it clashes with the Leigh game, unfortunately. But I think it's going to be an absolute classic, this one. I think Leeds are no mugs and they really want to get in that top 6. But on the flip side of that, Wigan really want that League Leaders Shield. I'm sure it's going to be another great crowd at the Brick as well. So it's a really interesting one. This obviously. I'll be not for the first time this season supporting the Pie Eaters in this one, which I know.
How very dare you, sir!
I know it's absolutely disgraceful behaviour. I know, but I'm sure I won't be the only Leigh fan to be wanting a Wigan victory of our Borough neighbours this week. But no, I think it's going to be a really good game. Do I think Leeds could do it? I wouldn't be surprised. It wouldn't come as the biggest shock to me if they did, but I do think that the League Leaders Shield means a lot to Wigan this year, and I think they're going to just have a bit too much class. Like Reggie says, they always find a way. So I'm going Wigan 9-17.
Dawn Baker's not happy with you. Well, let's have a quick look here. Jack Anson saying last year Wigan demolished Leeds 50-0. Yes, they did, but it was a different time. It's a different time, different place. Get your point. But Leeds have got something to play for this year. It's going to be interesting. This it is going to be interesting. I don't know if I think somebody's giving you a bit of grief in the chat as well, Joel. I don't know if you know Tom Jepson, but he's.
I know Tom very well. Yeah, I know Tom.
He's giving you a bit of grief there in the chat. Joel, mate. Again, should be a belting game. There's no love at the moment for Leeds. Myself, Gary Schofield's gone Wigan 18+. I've gone Wigan 19-17. The fans' form have gone Wigan 19-17. 9-17. What did you say, Steph?
9-17.
9-17 Wigan. So pretty much 9-17 is the thoughts other than Gary Schofield at 18 plus. Are you going for Leeds, are you, Joe?
No. I think though it's going to be one of them ones. This is going to be the one game of the whole round where you're going to have a scoreline that's not really reflective of the game. I think Leigh's going to put in a really good effort. I have gone for Wigan 9-17 because I feel like there'll just be the odd decision that'll go their way. Because we've all been to the Brick and it's a right crowd, isn't it?
What are you saying, Joe?
I don't know what you mean, Joe.
I don't know what I mean either, but I'm just putting it out there.
I mean, that's putting an awful lot of pressure on Liam Moore's shoulders.
I know. Yeah.
Well,
You see those bikes in Rugby League, Joe?
Well, yeah, it's going to be a good game. It is going to be a really good game. I think Wigan's, like you've all said, they've just got a bit too much to fight for, and they do like the league leaders. I think they want to go for all-time records. So
yeah. Wigan then, yeah.
Yeah, 9-17.
9-17. Come on, Kevin. Don't delay is what I would say. Just do it, sir. Just do it. We'll give you a massive wrap on the show tonight. Get becoming a member. Ian wants your company. And Mark Hilly saying, I'm sorry he's late, and so you should be, Mark. An absolute disgrace, if you don't mind me saying. But hey, we'll let you off because you were so good.
Poor lad.
You were so good on the final whistle. We'll let the man off. He's a top man. Right, what have they all been saying in the chat? Is anybody actually giving it? Yes, here we go. So 18 plus Ian's gone. Not many people getting involved in the chat here tonight. Come on, you're normally betting this. Carla Louise, good evening, Carla, another Super League Royal member. Wigan 9-17, Linda, Super League Royal member. There you go. 1-8 to the Wigan boys. Freddie McGilvery, Uncle Freddie in the chat. Hopefully we've got his company at the weekend. Wigan 9-17, Mark Smith 9-17, Robert Hickson 9-17. And Dawn Baker is saying it's a banana skin. This should be in the bin. Keep Britain tidy, Dawn, is all I would say on that one. Right, let's get to the next game. Let's go to the totally wicked stadium as St Helens welcome the Castleford Tigers. Intriguing. It's 1-1 in the series. Saints winning at the Jungle round 11 convincingly, 60 points to 4. And another shock result that stunned us all when the Tigers went to Saints in round 16 and won 8 points to 6. Nobody saw that one coming at all. The Saints are 14-2 at the Totally Wicked against the Tigers. Of course, Tommy Makinson back. We'd expect him to captain the side on this one. He's more than likely now going to be his final outing at the Totally Wicked unless they get fourth, which I think is very, very unlikely. Matty Lees, of course, has got off with his ban. Brilliant yet again. The Saint, whoever that lawyer is, passing round Saints, he's an absolute legend, whoever's getting your players off this year. Moses Mbido, he is going to be out, which is a big blow. That's a big blow for them. Liam Horn back for Castleford. That's a good news for him. But Nemo is still out for this one. As you can see, Saints 2 wins in the last 5, just the 1 win in the last 5 for the Castleford Tigers. It's 6 against 10. The attack, Saints 22 a game. The Tigers 16. Of course, Saints defend better. They concede on average 14 a game. The Castleford Tigers concede 26. 1-9 on, 6-1. The Castleford Tigers. Now, look, again, I've got to say this, and I have to say this. Castleford, last time out, the Totally Wicked won. Now, again, I think many people are back Saints. I think we're going to have a really good discussion about it now. But yeah, I mean, is Walmsley fit? We don't know. Will Wellesby play? We don't know. Is Robertson fit? Because he went off with a knee injury. We don't know. Will Clark come back? He's been muted, but again, is he fully fit? Is he not? Same with Dodd. There's loads of players there at Saints at the moment that are either carrying knocks or coming back from knocks. Castleford, might smell blood here. They might smell blood. And if Saints were to lose this, I think they could well miss out on the top 6. This is a must-win for St Helens. I couldn't believe they were so calm over the Warrington one last week. This is a must-win now for Saints. Steph, I'll start with you this time, mate. St Helens against the Castleford Tigers. Can the Tigers do it? Do them twice at the Totally Wicked this year?
Well, I've been quite impressed with Castleford this second half of the season. I know that sounds silly considering the league position, but they've actually put some decent performances in, and like they've already been there and done it, so they'll take a lot of confidence. That for round 16, you said that they went there and
round 16, 8-6, yeah.
So they'll take a lot of confidence for that, and I don't think they played that badly against Leigh. I think it was just the pack where we really dominated them. If you look at the players they've got outside, in a senior, one of the best finishers in the game. And he'll be going against Makinson, I would have thought, who is coming back from injury. Suspension. So he'll be a bit rusty, as we've seen with the other players. So I think it's going to be a really close game, this one. And if Saints play like they did against Warrington, and I know you've got to give Warrington a bit of credit for the way they defended against them, but the amount of knock-ons and things like that, it's not a very easy thing to shake off. Saying that, they'll probably put 50 on them now, but I'm going Cass 1-8. You're
going Cass 1-8. You're feeling a bit of Castleford love.
Yeah, only because a lot of my predictions are based on who's getting in the playoffs. But no, I think they can do it. I really think they can.
Well, Steph, on that, you saw them at close quarters. I mean, you were heavily invested in that game last week.
Yeah,
I think everybody was surprised at Saints' performance against Warrington. Warrington didn't really have to break sweat really in that game. They never looked like losing it after about 20 minutes. I mean, once Ashton's try went in, I don't think they ever looked like losing it from there on in Warrington. You saw Cass against you. Actually, for large periods of the game, they were competitive. It's not that bad a shout, 1-8 Cass, is it?
I don't think so. And obviously, like I say, there is a bit of jest in my predictions, but I don't think it's beyond the realms of possibility. I think Cass are a decent side on the day. If they turn up, and they can get on top early on, I think it'll, the panic about setting a bit with St Helens, but Saints have definitely got the ability to put them to the sword. Whether they've got that performance in them at the moment, that's what everyone's questioning, isn't it, with Saints at the minute? If Saints don't beat them, they don't deserve to be in the playoffs for me.
Well, absolutely not. I mean, Greg, you're in the stadium on Saturday. I mean, Saints fans at the moment, they're a bit uneasy, aren't they? They're not comfortable. And when you see the boys at Red V sitting in a pub watching a game as opposed to going, things must be bad.
Yeah, but to be fair to them, the game was changed 3 weeks ago.
Mate, I'm only joking. I'm just giving them a bit of sport.
The public transport in Saints can't adjust that quick. So
I'm saying nothing. We haven't even got a train station, as we are often reminded. We're just a bus stop in Wigan, so I'm saying
a bus stop. So it's more than Saints have got. But do you know what? Oh, it's a difficult one, isn't it? It really is, because apparently Saints have got some injuries, and they got more injuries on Saturday. Wellesby's not fit.
No, he's not.
Big Alex Walmsley's not fit. Lomax is still getting back to fitness. Robinson went off injured. Matty Lees did his Houdini act and got out of a ban,
which I think is very important.
I think it's very important. And what you've also got to consider is this is Tommy Makinson's last home game for Saints.
Lees was actually one of the only players who come out with a bit of pride, I thought, in that Warrington.
And Knowles. I think him and Knowles.
Yes, yeah. Him and Knowles were really good.
Yeah. Because Matty Lees had the bottle to shout at halfback. Yeah, you're right there. It's Tommy Makinson's last home game. It's touch and go whether, if Saints lose this, whether they get in the top 6. It's a difficult one. I'm going Saints 9-17.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you, mate. I think if they lose this, they're out the 6. I really do. I think they lose this, they're gone. I think the way Leigh are playing, Saints look disjointed. They seem in harmony, Leigh. They're in great form. I mean, Saints will not want to go to... If they lose this weekend, Saints will not fancy that against Leigh. They really won't for the survival. I just can't see it. Gary Schofield's gone Saints 9-17. I've gone Saints 9-17. Home field advantage. Tommy makes a good shout. They'll want Tommy to go off on a high, and let's be fair, he deserves to go out on a high. What he's done.
Of course he does. Yeah, of course he does.
He's an incredible servant for the club. The fans forum have gone Saints 9-17. I'll just quickly go into the chat. Let's get a couple of these in. Ian Rispin, Saints 9-17. Alex Sharp, Castleford to lose, -18. I think in a roundabout way, he's saying it, Saints 18+. Craig Forth, Saints 1-8. Mark Hill, Saints 18+. Mark Smith, hello Mark, Saints 1-8. Tigers 1-8, says Robert Hickson. Michael Ashton is going Castleford 1-8. Nick Burtonwood says Saints 1-8. Carla Louise, Saints 1-8. Steve Morley, Cass 1-8. Oh, they're all getting in on this one. The majority of the love appears to be going the way of St Helens. Joel, do you agree?
Yeah, but not by a lot. I'm only seeing it a 1-8 because they're at home. If it was at the Jungle, I was saying Cass 1-8. I just don't see them running away with this at all. The only way they are going to run away with it is if they get a few tries from forward passes. All I'm going to say. But of course, that's never looked at when it comes to Saints.
I thought that was Wigan's forte, Joe. I thought Wigan were the ones.
Oh, there was some brilliant touchdowns. Oh, there was some belting touchdowns in that Wigan KR game. Oh, there were, weren't there? That Miskey one. Deary me. I thought for a minute cheerleaders were going to come out from the
I'd tell you what, I thought NFL had started a week early. I must admit, I thought NFL had started a week early.
Oh, yeah, get ready. Dawn's going in the chat. She's already typing. Carry on, Joe. Carry on.
Hey, listen, Dawn was at the Huddersfield game when Saints played Huddersfield.
Kevin Greenlee has done it, ladies and gentlemen. Kevin Greenlee is a Super League Raw member. Welcome, Kevin, to the family. It's wonderful to have you with us. Sorry, Joel, over to you.
Yeah, honest, I don't know what touch judges are there for. Genuinely, what's the linesman there for? They're not calling it ever. Some of them can't even make it in line with the players. It needs an overhaul. It's ridiculous because we lost. We lost because we were the better team. But man, it was just ridiculous. The amount of forward passes they scored from, and it's not just against Huddersfield; it's against every team that they've ever played.
Do you know what?
It does me tree.
If ever your club's stadium's name was apt, you're not bitter, are you?
Come on. I just want to ask.
Hang on. Did he give me a prediction? Sorry, before he started. Have you given me your prediction yet, Joe?
Yeah, say it's 1-8.
I just want to ask, guys. Is David Pye a Saints fan?
I think he is. I think David's definitely.
You need to change your surname, mate, if you're a Saints fan.
Yeah, he is. I think Dave might be I think he might be one.
Unfortunate, isn't it? That's very unfortunate.
David Pye, come on.
David Pye, the Saints fan.
Dave.
You just couldn't
Get down to Castleford tomorrow, mate.
David, mate.
In response to Alex,
anyway,
I did say
not someone as a Saints surname in Wigan.
What are you saying, Joe?
Just in response to Alex, I did say some. You are right. The rest of them look like their own work experience. You are right.
I don't know what Paul Francis is saying. Sort it out, Dave. For I'm not quite sure what he's saying there. Let us know what you mean, mate. I'm not quite sure unless he's talking to Dave Pye. Right, great stuff. So
Dave Pye.
Yeah, a lot of love for Saints really in terms of the predictions. But hey, you Saints fans at the moment, it really is squeaky bum time down at the totally wicked Stadium. Could we have a playoff series without the Saints? That's the question. Clearly, the match review panel doesn't want that to happen. Right, we move on. Ooh, spicy. Moving swiftly on to this. This is the baby. What a game we are going to have on Friday night, ladies and gentlemen, as the Leigh Leopards and Hull KR go toe-to-toe. It's fair to say, actually, in the last two seasons, there's a bit of rivalry going on between these two as they're right second order of Super League. It's been quite fascinating, really, to see that and how it's playing out. Of course, 6-2 up our Hull KR, but look at the win record of the Leigh Leopards. Last 5 in a row. Taking on Hull KR, of course, lost to Wigan last time in round 13. Let's not forget, I think I'm right in thinking that might have been Asiata's first game back. Steph might correct me on that in a minute. But of course, they went down 12-0. Did the Leopards at Craven Park. It's second against fifth. Look at the attack, 5 in that. Average scores this season. Leopards have scored 21. Hull KR 26 defence, 14 conceded. Leopards on average to 12 for Hull KR. KR, despite going to the Leopards, are the bookies' favourites 5-6. The Leopards 21-10. Last year at the LSV, the Leigh Leopards blew away Hull KR 34 points to 4. That was what happened last season. And actually, when you think about it, a lot of the chess pieces are the same. Both of these two clubs, of course, I think Hull KR made probably more changes than perhaps Leigh have season on season. But a lot of the chess pieces in this battle are going to be the same. I think this is a fascinating game. I really, really do. I think Leigh, at the moment, as Steph has already said, 9 out of the last 10. They're the form team. Hull KR this season have been sensational. we bigged up the Wigan KR game because we felt it was going to be a belter. This is another one. I mean, Leigh have got this one next week. They've got Saints. I mean, that's going to be a belt as well. Let's stick on this. This is going to be, hopefully, as good, if not better, than what we saw at the Brick Community Stadium. Greg, I'm going to start with you. This is one not to be missed. This is a belt.
I wish I was going, to be honest. This is going to be an absolutely phenomenal game of rugby league, I think. Two of the best halfbacks in the business at this moment in time, Lamb and Lewis, up against one another. Two of the best packs as well. KR have got a mobile pack. Leigh have got a powerful pack. I think it is a difficult one. Leigh had I wouldn't say an easy time of it against Cass, but they put Cass to the sword because they did a job. Hull KR should have beat Wigan. There's no two ways about it. Hull KR were in the driving seat, and yellow cards and discipline lost them the game, really. They'll be disappointed. They'll be crushed with that. I think Leigh want revenge for the Challenge Cup. And I'm sorry, guys.
Don't do it, Ricky. Do not do it.
You know I love you.
We were friends, Greg. We were friends.
You know I love you deeply, guys.
But
I think Leigh are going to win 9-17.
Wow. Oh, there you go. That's Steph done. That's Steph well and truly done.
I'm sorry.
Jack Collier there is saying that KR will be shattered from the pies. I don't know about that. They might be a bit flaky. Whoa! There you go. That one. There you go. One for the kids. Outstanding stuff. But yeah, we'll come to you last, Steph, as it's your team. Joel, KR, Leigh. What a game.
I don't know how to... I really struggled with this one. Even more so than trying to predict.
I'm getting pelted. Sorry, Joe.
Rightly so. I'm joking.
Greg's not being invited for next year's barbecue at this rate. Carry on.
This one was harder to predict than the Wigan KR game last week. Because you've got, in my opinion, the two best sides at the moment going up against each other.
Arguably.
That's going to go down with the Wigan face.
Yeah.
No, but in terms of form guide, he's probably right. Yeah.
True. Looking at form,
last 10 games, absolutely right.
Exactly. So Leigh are the form side out of everyone right now. Now I did go for a KR 1-8 win, and that is only because of them losing, and this is their first time in a very long time that they've had such a stellar season, and because Leigh have won so many, you think surely they're going to lose maybe one before the playoffs. But it's not because Leigh would lose it. I think it's because KR might just have it that extra. And after the last week, it's going to be a massive game. Leigh could win this and by a score as well. But I've gone KR 1-8 because I had to go with my gut.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that, mate. Nothing wrong with that. Hey, are we going to get a third member on the night? That'd be lovely, wouldn't it? Will we get a third member on the night? Come on, join them. Join the team. It'd be absolutely marvellous to have you. Nicola Burtonwood's in the chat. Come on, lads, we can do this. He's going Leigh 1-8. Ian Rispin, we saw his wonderful face a few moments ago on that picture that we showed with Craig and with Dawn. Possible golden pointer. He's not saying which way he's going, though, but he's saying it could be a golden pointer. Matthew Lane, bit of inside knowledge. He thinks Evans could be back for this one. That could be the difference. KR 1-8. And I think, you know what, Broadbent going to full back last week. Yeah, you know what, I probably had a bit of a little bit of an unsettling one on KR because let's be fair, Evans this season has been top dollar for since going across from Castleford. You can't fault him for that. Lot of love in the chat for the Leigh Leopards. Not really an awful lot. I'm just having a look here. Trying to look at KR. Anything for KR? No. Everybody's. Tell you what, people are keeping the cards close to the chest on this one, boys and girls. Moody, another member. KR 9-17. Freddie McGilvey, Leopards 1-8. Linda Blunsom, another member. Leigh 9-17, as is Freddie, of course. Joe Dalgreen, another member, 9-17. Good to see you. Carla Louise, Leigh 1-8 for her. Mark Smith has gone Robbins by 4. Robert Hickson, another member. Leopards 1-8. Oh, they're all getting in on it now. Fantastic to see. Jack Collier 1-8. Leigh. Ian Judson, Leigh 9-17 as well. Craig Forth 1-8. Mr. Sale, your team at the moment, absolutely. You know, if you talk about form, momentum, all of those key words that we use in sport, it's with the Be the Raw gang, isn't it?
Ever so slightly, but again, I think going back to the reason why I think you got the manager. When you look at the teams they've played, we have had slightly easier opposition. You know, obviously Warrington, a few others, but no, we have had the easier run in the last 10 games, and I think that's got to be taken into account as well. Hull KR are a fantastic side. They should have probably beat Wigan last week. I think a lot of Wigan's points came when KR were down to 12 men. So that was a great game, by the way. Really, really, really good game. And KR are for me the team to beat at the moment. But it's 2 tough road games. You know, it's 2 distance travelled. You know, having to come to the Wigan Borough twice in 2 weeks. It's not easy to do 2 road trips like that. And those types of games against Wigan, those physical games, will definitely have an impact on Hull KR. So, but there's no excuses for Leigh now. We've got our full team. Earlier in the season, we went there and only lost 12-0 with half of our players missing. So it's going to be a really intriguing one. I do think we'll slightly edge them in the pack. I think that's where we will dominate a little bit. But it's going to be massive how Mikey Lewis and Lachlan Lamb go against each other. And I think the one thing KR have got going for them is their kicking game's far superior to ours. I think if Leigh have got a weakness, it's our kicking game. And it'd be interesting to see. Me personally, I would put Moylan at 6 and put O'Brien back at fullback for this one. Just a bit tactically. Whether he'll do that is another thing. But I'm sure Adrian will pick the right side for this one. But the atmosphere is going to be bouncing at Leigh. I mean, it was bouncing against Warrington. So, and I know Hull KR are going to bring probably a similar crowd to what Warrington did, if not more, if they do the pound bus, fun bus again, which I'm sure they will be doing. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I've got to go with Leanna for this one. It's that time of the year, isn't it?
What are you going, mate? What are you going?
I'm going to go 9-17, Leigh. 9-17. I think we're going to put a marker down.
He said that. There's a marker going down. Wow, happy days. Put that pound on the side of the pool table, son.
That's definitely being screen grabbed that and absolutely annihilated.
That'll be on repeat next week. Outstanding stuff. Well done, mate. Outstanding. And hey, I'm sure you don't mind me saying this, Steph, Miss Baker. Not Miss Baker, Miss Kirkby. If you're going to this one, and Ian, you're going to this one, I'm sure give Steph the wink. I'm sure he will meet you outside the Legends Bar, and I'm sure he will be looking forward to seeing you down at the LSV, Steph.
100%. Yeah. Give us a nudge on the WhatsApp when you arrive. There'll be a few beers waiting for you, no problem at all. Yeah,
you Hull KR fans who like Steph Sale, go and get a photo took. He'll be at the Legends Bar at the LSV on Friday. He'd love to see you. And Garibo, again, I'm not biting, sir. The amount of love and support we've given your KR this year, I don't think we've been wigging up that much, my friend. I think actually Greg said that if it was 13-13, he thought you'd win. Come on, let's get into the details, sir. You're watching Super League Raw.
I just said they should have won.
Absolutely, exactly. Don't buy. I'm just saying, don't buy. Don't buy.
The Gary Bolt saying that the journey home last week when the railway bridge was closed on the M62, you know, that might have put a lot of people off.
Not the Up the Robins Brigade. The Up the Robins Brigade will be there as long as the bus can pull over on the shoulder.
I'm quoting.
More drinking time, not on the way home. You want a long bus?
Gary Bow, more Garibaldi on that comment, my friend. Trust me, sir. The Up the Robins Brigade will be there in force. The Be the Roarers will be the welcoming committee. It will be a superb atmosphere on Friday night, one not to be missed. I'm sure really looking forward to that. So there you go. Right, just to confirm then, for this game, KR 1-8 says Gary Schofield. I'm going Leigh 9-17. Joel, we've done you, haven't we? Yes.
Hang on. You've gone Leigh 9-17?
I've got Leigh 9-17.
Wow.
I've got Leigh 9-17. Yeah, all day, mate. All day. I think at the moment, you're the team at this moment in time. Don't get me wrong. I think KR, but it could go easily the other way. But at this moment in time, you're at the LSV. You're on a roll. The pack is back. Asiata's back in the groove. Lovely reverse ball that last week too. I think if Asiata would have been out, I think I might have been edging more KR. The fact that Asiata's not out, the match review panel didn't go. That was a big result for you, mate, going into this, 100%. Is what I would say. So, yeah, really, really looking forward to that one. We'll go to this one next. We'll go to the Dragons entertaining the London Broncos. As you see there in Super League history, 2011, the Catalan Dragons far better than winning ratio than the Broncos in this head-to-head. That said, in the Stade Gilbert Brutus, it's 7-4 in favour of Catalan, a lot closer, albeit it was 2014 the last time that the London Broncos won at the Stade Brutus. It's the 8th against 12. Attacks, interesting, only 17 Catalan Dragons average this year. That says a lot, doesn't it? The Broncos 12. Defence, though, they've only conceded 16. Broncos 34. That said, in the last 5, it's a lot closer. In the last 5 games, Catalan's 4 has been 12. London Broncos has been 19. Just bear that in mind. Say that again. In the last 5 games in Super League, the Catalan Dragons have averaged 12 points scored. London have averaged 19. Catalan have had an average 25 put against them. London have averaged 23 against them. That's how it looks. The Dragons 1-14 on, which I think's very big, considering what London have been doing these last 5 weeks. London 15-2. Again, last week we looked at the odds that were given to London at Huddersfield. Again, Catalan and the form they're in, 15-2, the London Broncos. I'm going to kick off on this one, if you'd permit me. I don't normally kick off, but I will on this one. Do the Dragons believe that their season is still alive? That's the key killer question. I think last week's result has pretty much meant that Catalan are done. I can't see Catalan, even though they've got London and then I think they've got FC the final game. I think it's just too, with the points difference and all the rest, it's just not going to happen for them. And on that basis, if they don't believe, London have still got the grit between the teeth. They want to finish 11th. And it's for that reason, because I think Catalan will not believe that they have got a chance of making the top 6. And for that reason, I'm going London 9-17. I'm saying it straight out the back. I'm going London Broncos 9-17 in Perpignan. I think the Broncos will go there like they've done every other game recently and give it 100% and try and get that win for Mike Eccles. And I just don't see at the moment the connection between the players and Steve McNamara. They're in terrible form. And if they don't believe that they can make the 6, that's the killer difference, because London will be playing for something. Catalan won't be. So I'm going London Broncos 9-17. Greg, your thoughts on this one?
I would love to think that London could go there and win. But I just don't think they'll be allowed to finish above Hull, because it makes a mockery of IMG and the RFL, unfortunately. So I'm going to go Catalan 9-17. I would really, on an even playing field, I think London might win. They've got some class players, London, some really good players. I think bringing Tompkins back might have disrupted Catalan a little bit too much. But I just can't shake the feeling that London will not be allowed to finish above Hull. So I'm going Catalan 9-17.
Well, Ian did say that he couldn't make the quiz because he's away. Maybe he's in the bunker for this game and making sure that it all goes to plan for the black and whites. Who's to say? A bit of controversy there. Steph, over to you, sir. What's your thoughts, mate?
I think we're going to have to rename Reggie Conspiracy Nixon. I think he's going to have to.
It's got to be JFK.
Oh, you've chucked some out tonight, mate. Honestly, but hey, fair play to you, mate. Fair play. Well, London have proven already this season they can beat Catalan. They've already beat them.
Right.
So, and I think the kryptonite for Catalan is London's attack. I think that London have got a really potent attack. It's their defence really that's let them down a little bit, but they're massive odds then for London. I'd be tempted to have a cheeky little bet on London this week at them odds.
15-2, mate.
And if they're at 15-2, then the handicap's going to be massive. So if you're less inclined to go for the big odds, I think a handicap bet on London maybe if anyone who likes a bet,
Good value.
Good value, very good value. That I think you're right in terms of do Catalan believe they've got a chance of getting in. I mean, they should finish on 30 points. In terms of I think which would give them a chance. It would depend on other teams slipping up a little bit, but that 30 points, I think someone will get in the six with 30 points, definitely. So it's there, but I'm going with my mate Mike Eccles. I think they're going to finish 11th, and I'm going London 1-8.
1-8 London. Right, before I come to Joel, Gary Schofield's gone 90-17, the Catalan Dragons. As I've said, I've gone London 90-17. To confirm, Greg's 90-17, Catalan, London 1-8. Mr. Sale, Castleford 90-17. In the chat, lot of love for London. Jack Collier, Mark Hill, both going London 1-8. Ian Judson's going Catalan 18+. Really, Ian? Really? Can't believe it. Can't believe it. Unbelievable. Freddie McGilvey, 90-17, the Dragons. 18+ to the Dragons for Michael Ashton. Craig Forbes, 90-17. Nicola Burton, 90-17. Oh, yeah, a lot of love here for the Dragons. Vicky Sale, I think that could be some children, quite frankly. Hoping for London to get off the bottom in this one. Good evening to both Darcy and Ellie down there. AD West, Cats, 90-17. Ian Rispin, Broncos, 1-8. Linda Bloodensome, 1-7. Or 1-8 to the London Broncos. Do you know what? Split. And I sort of expected that. I thought people might see this, perhaps the way I'm seeing it, that, if Catalan decided that's it, game's up for this year, London could go here and get vital wins. Joel, your shout on this one, mate.
Yeah, another one of a scoreline that might not reflect the game, but not as heavy. I think the issue for London is that they've had some real tough arm wrestles over the past 4 or 5 games, and they've been putting a lot of effort in. And I feel like the travel over to Catalan might just be a little bit too much for them just this week. But they definitely deserve to be off the bottom. They've been a far better team than Hull FC have in the second half of the season. And I don't think anybody could dispute that. But I have gone for a Catalan 9-17, and that is purely not on Catalan. It's more about just how a bit beaten up London might be at the moment and the travel and everything. It's just going to be a bit too far for them, possibly.
Welcome to Super League Raw. Hazel, that's a definite new name on us. Good evening, Hazel. We're hoping you're enjoying Super League Raw Weekly. She's saying that London is the most entertaining team, edge of the seat stuff. Hopefully you're a Bronco. And if you are a Bronco, we need a Bronco as a Super League Raw member because we haven't got one yet. And it'd be lovely if you were the first one. That's if you are a London Broncos supporter, of course. Again, great game. Really looking forward to that. Really enjoyed watching London this season. I will be watching that one this weekend. Right, it all ends. We're going to end on the game that we're all going to. Can't wait to be with my old mucker Joel in the John Smith Stadium this coming Saturday evening. Great company, great food, great beer. And hopefully great rugby league. It's going to be a great afternoon. Really looking forward to this. The Giants taking on the Wolves. In history, Warrington in Super League 41-22 in their favour. The Giants coming into this on I've got 7 losses on the spin. 7 losses on the spin. That can't be right because you won last week. Don't know what's happened there. Odd. Warrington 4 from the last 5. The last time these two met, Warrington won 40 points to 0. Was that Watson's last game, Joe?
It was, yeah.
wasn't it? He got kiboshed after that, didn't he? Of course, they won. Sorry, they won. Yeah, I don't know where that's come from. That's seven times one. That was off a previous slide. They've actually won 2 of the last 5. Have the Huddersfield Giants. 3rd against 9. Attack. Huddersfield averaging 17 goal forward this year. 24 for the wire. Defence averaging 23 against them. The Huddersfield Giants averaging 30, and that's 13 Warrington, and that's where Sam Burgess has made a massive difference this year. Second only to KR in terms of points conceded. I mean, when you consider Warrington last year, how poor they were in defence, that has gone very much unnoticed by a lot of people, just how well the defence has gone for Burgess. There you go, Joel. You'll win 60-0 now. Joel Huddersfield 18-5, Warrington 1-5. Warrington won twice there last year. Good news for Huddersfield. Sam Hewitt will return from his one-match ban. I've really liked watching Hewitt this year. I think he's a fine player. Of course, no Vaughan, no Fitzgibbon for the Warrington Wolves in this one. Before I come to the lads, Steph, I'll start with you. Wire against the Giants. We'll both be there, mate. Looking forward to the game first and foremost. But where do you think it's going to go?
Yeah, for me, this one's all about spending time with you and Joel in the thingy on this one. So it's a bit like asking who's your favourite kid for me. This, so I'm not going to tell you.
Oh, come on then, Dad, give us a prediction.
I love them both equally. I love them both equally. They're both amazing. I think it's going to be a really good game. I just don't believe them. I don't want to predict this on this one. I really don't want to.
You're going to have to.
I know. I'm going to have to go with Warrington, obviously. I think they're going to just have a bit too much for Huddersfield. But I don't think it's going to be as easy as some of the Warrington fans may think it is. I think with Robinson getting his coaching role, I think there's probably a few players who are playing for contracts next season, maybe at Huddersfield still, and with a bit of a point to prove. So I do think it's going to be an entertaining game. I think Warrington are just going to be too strong, and league position tells you that. 9-17 Warrington.
9-17 Wire. Greg, as the away side, over to you. Warrington against Huddersfield.
Yeah, Mark Hill. I'm going to take my tinfoil hat off. I think a lot of this depends on how Hull KR get on.
Good shout.
If Hull KR lose, and that's the thing with playing games on at different days. If Hull KR lose and Warrington have got a chance to finish second, that makes a huge difference. It
does.
It really does. In mentality, in mindset, in preparing for the game. I think anyway, whether Hull KR win or lose, I think Warrington, Fitzgibbon will not play. I have to probably bring Nicholson back into the second row if he's fit. He's been class all season, Nicholson. I think Warrington 18 plus. I'm sorry, guys.
You're going a big one. You're going 18 plus the Wire.
I've
gone the same way. Gary Schofield's gone the same way.
I'm not saying that Warrington will absolutely batter Huddersfield. I think it will be quite a good an even game, but Warrington will get over the line by a lot.
Okie dokie. So Gary Schofield, myself, Greg, and Fans Forum all going Warrington 18 plus. Mr. Scholes, are you feeling it? Will the cowbells ring? Over to you.
I've got a gut feeling that Huddersfield might actually lose. But I don't see a blowout.
Don't do that while I'm taking a mouthful of beer, mate.
I think with Vaughan and Fitzgibbon going, it's 2 big losses, but certainly not big enough not to be a Wire win 9-17. But for that reason, it's why it's not an 18 plus.
Well, look, all I know is I think it's going to be a belting weekend of sport, not to be missed. Outstanding stuff. Paul Francis, Wire by 100. Don't think that'll happen, Paul. Michael Ashton, Huddersfield 1-8. He's going the way of Huddersfield. Ian Judson, Craig Forth, Mark Smith, Freddie McGilvey, Nicola Burntwood, Ian Rispin, Carla Louise, Mark Hill, Dawn Baker. They're all going Warrington. They're all going Warrington. There's not much love in the chat for the Huddersfield Giants.
And none of them are going to get invited for that. None of them are getting invited for that.
No, absolutely. And if you're at Huddersfield, all you Cowbell Army people who watch Super League Raw, Joel is having myself and Steph down for the game. Do come and say hello. It'd be lovely to see you. We love a good chat around Rugby League. Have a few drinks.
Can I just add? I will be there, but it's my birthday, so
yeah, Greg's a year older, so he's not coming.
I'm going Dave 10 pints, Steph 8.
Well, mate, and anybody's seen me and you drink, they know that'll at least be the other way around, and then that just won't be happening. Anyway, right, look, I'm very mindful of the time. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go back to where we started. What an incredible round 26 is going to be. We're going to know so much more when we come back for Super League Raw Weekly next week. This was the team of the month. We did say that one of the 1 to 13 would be crowned our player of the month. Get in the chat now. Who will be your player of the month for the month of August? Whilst you're getting in the chat with the person that you give it to. And just before people get clever, it has to be a player that's in the team of the month. Don't just put one in that's not there. Who's it going to be? Oh, sorry, FC and Salford. Very mindful of the time. We'll have to do this one really, really quick. Has anybody seen this going the way of Hull FC?
No.
Right, so very quickly, Steph, who you got? Salford, by how many?
Salford 18 plus.
18 plus for Salford. Greg?
18 plus Salford.
18 plus for Salford. Joel with us?
Yeah, 18 plus. Yeah.
18 plus. I think Gary Schofield, I think he's gone the same. No love for FC. I think everybody's gone the way of Salford. 18 plus. So that's the end of that. Good luck to FC next season. Yeah, there you go. Right, okay. Like I say, very mindful of the time. I do apologise for that. But yeah, we are running out of time and we've got to get this one done. But I don't think anybody's seen it anyway other than the Salford win. We'd be very surprised if it wasn't. Right, a lot of people going in the chat. Joel, who would you give player of the month to and why out of that 1 to 13?
I think it would be Insemba, just for the fact that he's been playing so well and I believe that he should get Young Player and Man of Steel in the same year. I don't know if he can do that, but I feel like he should.
I think he'll definitely get Young Player. Just to clarify, Junior Nsemba, 2 tries, 124 tackles, 27 tackle busts, 2 clean breaks, 70 carries, 524 metres, an average of 7.5 metres a carry in the month of August. Steph, who are you going with?
I think it's between Lewis and Nsemba. I'm going to go Mikey Lewis.
You're going to go Mikey Lewis. 4 tries, 2 assists, 16 goals, 24 tackle busts, 3 clean breaks, 88 tackles, 88 carries. That's a bit weird, but there you go. 88 carries, 372 metres, 4.2 average. Greg?
Well, I'm going to be controversial. For me, it would have been Reece Martin.
Reece Martin.
But
he's on the bench. He can't be Reece Martin.
Bench, so I'm going to go Nsemba because he's been absolutely awesome.
Rightio.
He'll be in the NRL before you know it, that guy.
In the NRL before you know it.
You know what? That guy is one of the brightest prospects of not just English, but British Rugby League for a long, long time, Junior Nsemba. So I'm going for Nsemba.
Good man. Right, let's get into the chat. Greg Roach, Lewis or Hiku for him. Mark Smith's going Hiku. Dawn Baker surprisingly goes Nsemba. Mark Hill's gone Hiku. Michael Ashton's gone Nsemba. Kai Burton, Nicola Burtonwood's gone Kai O'Donnell. We may as well call her Nicola O'Donnell. Nicola O'Donnell has gone Kai Burtonwood. Nicola O'Donnell's gone Kai Burtonwood. There you go. Ricky Sales, she's gone Kai O'Donnell. No surprise there. Robert Hickson, Kai O'Donnell. Andy West, Kai O'Donnell. A lot of love for Kai O'Donnell. Craig Folks gone Nsemba. Surprise, surprise. Freddie McGilvery's gone Nsemba. Kai O'Donnell. Has the player that has won it been mentioned in those comments? The answer is yes, they have. The question is, who is the player of the month for the month of August? Here he comes.
This is the last play. This is Ebbels, and Hiku now bursts into the space.
The options have got the passing, the catch and pass there from Petter Hiku.
Searching, flicks it away, Batchelor onto Hiku. Hiku tries to straighten up Lindop, and Hiku with the try that wins the game.
so there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Peta Hiku has got the Player of the Month for August. Now, everybody knows how much painstaking effort goes into Team of the Weeks. Peta Hiku was in 4 of the 5 Team of the Weeks in August. That's how consistent he has been. So when you consider those stats, that's across 5 games. There wasn't much peaks and troughs in there. Mr. Consistency, Peta Hiku. This is the man that we were all laughing at in rounds 1 and 2 at fullback, and he's been absolutely incredible ever since. 4 out of 5 Team of the Weeks. 3 tries, 6 assists, 25 tackle busts, 4 clean breaks, 62 tackles, 99 carries for 821 metres. I'll say that again, 821 metres, even including the wingers. Nobody in this month's Team of the Month has ran for more metres than Peta Hiku. That is how good he has been. He is our Player of the Month for August. Yet again, it's a brace for the winning coach and the winning player. No arguments there, boys, when you hear how consistent the man has been?
No, and that's why I had a feel it might be Lewis with the KR thing at the moment, because they are, like I say, with the teams they've played, they are the form team, even though Leigh are technically over the last 10. Were you laughing at, Reggie? It's fact.
No, it was wind. It was wind, sir. Wind.
Yeah, wind. But yes, no, he's been great. And I think the biggest point on this one, and it is the biggest point, is that everyone was laughing at him at the beginning of the season as a signing. Yeah. And what a player he's turned out to be since they moved him to centre. He's been absolutely phenomenal.
He's a centre all day long, mate.
Can I just ask, Greg, before we start, can I just ask Ian, who would you have picked? Who would Ian have picked? Because he said it's a bad choice, despite the analytics that have just given and everything. It's a bad choice. So, Ian, who would you give it to? Just by Greg's telling us why.
Probably.
Well, probably. SASA, who's not in the team. But anyway, go on. Who'd you give it to, Ian? Get it in the chat. A very, very bad choice. He's getting even more spiky now. But no, Hiku in centre, Greg, class.
Oh, yeah. We saw glimpses of it when he came to Warrington and got us out of the middle eights. Yes. No. Yeah. He's proved himself. He's proved himself. He's a class set. He's up there with Leigh as one of the as one of the form centres of this season.
Yeah.
Can't argue with it. I thought Nsemba.
Well, I think you might be taking into account the KR game. We're not taking into account the KR game at the weekend, and I think
no. I know, but I thought Nsemba had a special month.
To be fair, that's who Ian's gone with. Ian has said Nsemba.
Yeah, I've got Nsemba. Yeah.
Which he must have
been. Greg Roach has gone Chris Kendall.
Yeah.
Well, he had a decent month, Greg. Yeah.
All I would say to Greg Roach is make sure that you've looked up what his heritage number is, mate. Can't come in handy at the quiz. But anyway, that's another story. Look, we can't look. Here we go. We're going to have to call time. Very mindful of the time. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been a very, very good show indeed. Bringing you some fun entertainment on a Tuesday evening, as always. Change your date coming next week. It won't be on Tuesday. It's probably going to be on Wednesday. Need to clear that with the boys, but it will be a change of date next week as a work commitment. Do apologise for that, but we will be back next week as always. Keep your eye out on the platform when that's going to be. It'll either be Wednesday or Thursday, depending on when the boys can do. Right, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, do consider becoming a member. It'd be lovely to have your company in the membership. Thank you to those who've joined this evening. Remember, www.patreon.com/Super League Raw. You can still press that QR code in the corner. As always, gentlemen, loved your company. Thanks a lot for your time. We will be back next week. And as always, we're going to go out with the top performers. Make sure you're with us for the final whistle, round number 26 on Monday morning for your way to work, on your way into work. And make sure you're back for Super League Raw with you next week. From us all, goodbye.
Can't be the Bear Weekly.
You can't.
Here are your top performers after 25 rounds of the Betfred Super League. Still leading the try-scoring chart is Leigh and Marshall of the Wigan Warriors. A brace against KR takes him to 24. The most assists that have been made this season have come from Lachlan Lamb, the Leigh Leopards, also with 24. Whilst the most metres made despite his absence is Matt Duffy of the Warrington Wolves, 4,036. The most tackle busts have come from the Leeds Rhinos, Lockie Miller with 206. Whilst the most clean breaks have come from our top try scorer, Leigh Marshall, with 33. The most offloads, despite one too many at the weekend, is still Hakeem Aloudi of the London Broncos, with 54. The most hard meters made have been Rhys Martin of the Leeds Rhinos, 2,718. The most tackles have been made by the Leeds captain Cameron Smith, 899. And the top goal kicker is still Mark Sneed on 88, but Rhys Martin got 13 at the weekend and he's now on 85 and catching. These are your top performers after 25 rounds of the Betfred Super League.